when I heard your story about there's no credit there, it's cash and carry.
Yeah.
You have the money or you don't. Sometimes you don't realize how privileged you really are until you hear stories like that. So that was definitely coming from a place where you can do that and come here with almost nothing. And I always tell him the same thing. It's like living in New York, right? Everybody comes from all around the world to go visit Times Square, right?
Yeah.
But the people who live there don't value it the same.
Exactly.
It's the same thing.
Exactly.
You're not even aware of the opportunities that you've been afforded because they've always been there.
Hey, hello friends. Welcome to another episode of the New Rich Podcast. I'm Dr. Uyi Abraham.
And I'm Dr. Faith Abraham. Welcome back, New Rich family.
We are so excited to have you here today. So Dr. Faith, how have your week been?
It's been phenomenal. We just came out of Invest Fest, so that was really good. And
a lot of people.
It was a lot of people. But one thing I do love, and I have to say this, shout out to my tech SaaS fam. We were representing.
Yeah.
We were representing. I was like, okay. And I love the fact that we just as a culture, we're shifting from just staying in the hands-on zone to intellectual property. We are so creative. We are so thoughtful. We have so many ideas. And now we're taking it and putting it in the digital space, like using our minds as much as we use our hands. And I love to see it. Okay. Let's just be clear. So it was good. How about you? How was your week?
It's just busy.
I know.
We had a booth for Vonza.
We
at
did.
Invest Fest.
He tried to beat me in a dance off, but I'm gonna let you have it. I'm gonna let you have it. I'm gonna let him have it. Y'all know I'm a better dancer.
Yeah,
you can put it in you can put it in the comments. Y'all know I'm a better dancer. You see that?
Make that choice, But you gave up on the dance. You guys follow me on social media and see how I kind of went low and she just kind of gave up. But anyway, we're excited to be here today.
We are.
Two amazing guys in the studio. So let's welcome Ray and Jay to the studio.
How y'all doing? How's everything?
All right. I see his voice a little bit cracked.
Yeah, raspy. We got a little raspy.
Little raspy, but we're going to get through it.
Yeah, they were also vendors at Invest Fest and connected with them a couple of months ago. And over a year, probably close to 2 years now.
Probably close to 2 years.
Close to 2 years.
Now.
2 years.
And they have an amazing knowledge, amazing story. They're doing great things. So I just want to formally just welcome you guys to the New Rich Podcast. This is the number one fastest growing podcast for entrepreneurs. So we are on YouTube and on various, streaming platforms. So people are going to really, really learn about you guys. But first, let's start by saying, how you guys doing?
Excellent. We've been out all night. I'm a little raspy. We've had a good time. We've been at Invest Fest, enjoying ourselves just like y'all did.
Yeah,
amazing.
Was amazing.
So tell us a little bit about you, your background, and they'll talk about your specialized knowledge about helping people. Is it flip lands, right? Flip lands, buy lands, hold lands, use lands to build wealth. You are going to learn so many amazing things in this podcast episode today.
Yes.
But first, tell us about you, your background. Then we're going to talk about what you do and how you know what you do.
Yeah, for sure. Well, me, myself, I started out, in blue collar kind of work, right?
Okay.
Usually, and like I say all the time, your environment is your ceiling a lot of time. But when you see people traditionally using their back to make money, I fell into the same program because I didn't see anything else. So basically what I was doing, I mimicked and modeled everything that I saw around me. It took for us to actually seek information in order to change the circumstances. So what we did was we started looking for mentors. Mentors, condensed time frames professionally.
Absolutely.
So we took somebody else's experience, condensed time frames, and I used to work as a garbage truck driver, believe it or not. So back-breaking work, hard work, but I knew I didn't want to continue working with my back because I've done it for so long. So we transitioned into actual learning and getting to the space of understanding land.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What about
so that's
you?
Jay, y'all.
Absolutely,
And
yes,
this is
yes.
Ray.
This is like a standoff, like your desk.
Right.
Who had the worst story coming up? No. But me, I'm a father of 3 girls. I got
Yay, for the girls.
Also, outside of business, I'm a basketball coach, high school basketball coach. So I work with the youth. Professionally, I'm was a union stagehand worker. Through the business that we do now, that has allowed us to fire my employment, or should I say, take time off from my employment. I was a stagehand. We set up concerts. So all through the years, really couldn't do much because we work a lot. I made over $100,000 on the job, but living in the state of New York, $100,000, the breakdown is like making $40,000.
Wow.
So that's my professional background. We stepped into learning the land space. We're actively doing the business. We actively done it. Now we teach other people how to do the same thing.
But here's my question for you guys. Why? What? Because y'all are New Yorkers. Ain't no land in New York. Listen, when I go to New York, I don't see no land. I just see people in concrete jungle, right? So what made y'all go from what you guys were doing to, let's look at land. Let's buy some land?
Well, traditionally as an asset class, right? While I was doing the garbage truck driver, I was also part-time doing the mortgage broker as well.
Okay.
So I would go there in the morning, do the mortgage broker at night. So what happened was everybody was so focused on houses. I started to really look at land because nobody was talking about it. And it's the primary asset. You can't have the house without the land.
Right.
So we started off looking into like tax deeds. Tax deeds, I heard about it a lot, but nobody I knew was actually doing it. So we started looking online, started looking for things and people that were teaching it. Like we said before, mentorship is one of the best things ever because I didn't have to figure it out myself. Right. There was an existing blueprint that was there way before me that existed for hundreds of years. The only thing we had to do is pay and tap into information. Yeah. I am a fan of paying myself because I know a lot of free information, you're not going to get everything. It'll be a puzzle that's 1,000 pieces and go ahead and figure it out. Right. That's the time span, right? But when you also have a mentor, they take that puzzle, they work with it in front of you, piece by piece by piece, and show you the exact game. So that's what we did. Absolutely.
And
there's a couple of things that I certainly want to dispel about land, even in New York, right?
All right, talk about it.
I don't care what state we live in, Georgia, New York, Delaware, Arizona, any state across the country in America is going to be primarily rural. That's what we focus on, rural markets. Even if you take the city of Atlanta, for example, they can't stuff no more into Atlanta. That's why you start to see subdivisions popping up on the outskirts. And what's going to happen moving forward, they're going to stuff all they can stuff on the outskirts. Then what's going to happen after that? They're going to move further out. So rural markets are very valuable. We all been driving down south and you see on the side of the road, you see empty land. Yeah. Somebody own it. Half of America is vacant. 47% of it is vacant, undeveloped, and for sale.
Is that true? Is that still true? Because I heard a certain gentleman, he shall remain nameless, but y'all know who I'm talking about. He's been buying up a lot of land.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Okay.
I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
Close that gate.
Okay.
Yeah. Shut it.
Okay, that's good. Hey, I'm Uyi Abraham. I came to America with just $100 and a suitcase of clothes. And I started selling online courses and coaching programs. And I saw that there was nothing out there that was really built from the ground up for creators and entrepreneurs such as me. I was frustrated with tying multiple tools together. And out of that frustration, wasting time and money, I created the perfect solution for coaches, consultants, and course creators. And that solution is Vonza. Vonza is a simple to use all-in-one platform that gives you all the tools you need for your online business in one place. Whether you want to create and sell courses, memberships, sales funnels, website, scheduling, email marketing, and more. 12 plus tools for the price of one. So you can stop getting frustrated like I was, tying multiple tools together, and stop wasting time and money. You can do online business the easy way. So go right now to Vonza.com and start a free trial and use the best platform for online business. So now let's talk about, so right now you guys have made multiple six figures, right? Doing what you do and teaching people this special knowledge about land. So tell our viewers what you guys do. What are you guys doing right now? What are you teaching people?
Okay, all right. Well, there's two different things that we're teaching, right? One we call a silver package, which means we're showing people how to actually invest in tax deeds, right? Tax deeds, when we first got started, we were buying properties for $50 and selling them for $3,000.
You say properties?
Properties, land.
Land. Okay.
Land, absolutely. For $50.
$50. Oh,
$50.
not $50,000.
$50. 50.00.
Well, we blow
$50. Absolutely. Low end target. But what we found out, and even some of the neighborhoods that weren't the best, but people actually lived there. So the people who lived there wanted the actual property. And what we found out is the buyers for all of the land that we buy usually live in a 1.5 to 2 mile radius of that property. So once you know how to target it, you know how to offload the property. And we were selling these, we were buying 50 of these at a time. Sometimes we were selling 5 to 6 a week. So it quickly replaced our income as far as doing a traditional job. And I'll let him explain the other one.
I want to stop there and talk about the tax deeds. This is this is why we like to start from the bottom up and touch regular people, right? Because let's just break down what a tax deed is. A tax deed is across the country, even this building, this office that we're in. If you own property, whether that's land, whether that's a structure, a house, a building, whatever it is, we all are responsible for paying taxes, right? When we don't pay our taxes, we all know what happens. The county, state, or municipality comes in, they'll slap a lien on your property. They'll send you several notices to pay your property tax, When you fail to abide by that notice, they're going to take ownership of the property, county, state, or municipality. They take the ownership. What do they do next? They sell it back to the public. For how much? For as little as $50. The county just want what's owed on the property. They don't care if it's $10,000 that's owed on the property and the property is worth $200,000. They just want what's owed to them. Pay me what you owe me, because that's how every state, that's how every county functions, off of property tax, the people's property tax. So I just need to get paid what's owed on that particular land or house. Give me what is owed to me. I don't care about what the profit is on the property. So that's where we come into play. And guess what? They sell it to the general public, and you go and you pick up a piece of discounted land for pennies on the dollars. Now, once you have it, it's yours to keep. We're active land flippers. That's what we are. So when we come across property, we put it back on the market, and that's how we double and triple our money.
Wow. So is this something that anybody can do, or does one need to have a PhD or have some specialized something to do? Can anybody get into like buying land, flipping lands as a business, or just to buy and own?
You can do it as a business. You could do it as a side thing. That's why we call it hidden in plain sight, because the same rules work across the country. There's two type of liens. There's a tax lien. Certain states are tax liens. Tax liens would be for probably somebody like you, somebody that's well-to-do. A lot of people, rich people, they dump their money into tax liens because the percentage that comes off a tax lien ranges from anywhere from 13% to 25% on your money, and the return rate is 90. The redemption rate on those properties are 98 to 99%. So people, example, if somebody's losing their house for let's say $15,000, the house worth $250,000, they're going to find the money. They're not going to lose their $250,000 house to the taxes. So once you take the tax lien, the county will pay you anywhere between 13,000 to 25% on that money that you invested on that lien. And that's what a lot of rich people do. They dump their money right there.
And it's backed up. If they don't pay, you get the actual
house
asset.
if they don't.
You get the house if they don't pay. So either way, you win. Either way.
Wait.
Definitely.
So let's say somebody owes taxes on their house. They cannot pay it. You come in and you pay for it. Now the house is yours.
Well, if they can't pay it, the county would take it back first. Right?
Okay.
It'll become the county's property.
So it's no longer theirs anyway.
Right.
No.
Wow.
And they'll have what they have called a redemption period to pay it.
Yes, right. I've seen that.
And it'll be, some states are 2 years, some are 3 years, some are less. It fluctuates from each county and each state. So you'll buy the lien, whatever that, let's say they was back taxes was $15,000. You'll buy the lien for $15,000. They'll have the time frame to pay the $15,000 back. If they don't fulfill that, then you would take ownership of the house. If they do fulfill it and it takes them that 2 years to fulfill it, you've been getting 15 to 25% of the $15,000.
And on top of that, even if the property had a mortgage, the taxes subordinate the mortgage. So once you go ahead and do that and they foreclose, there's no mortgage on the property anymore. Taxes.
So then, if I have the tax lien and the foreclosure, they're out, I can turn around and I can sell the house.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you take the house, they don't pay, and you would get you have to foreclose it yourself. You have to hire an attorney, have people that know how to do that.
3-4 month process, but after that, it will be free and clear of all encumbrances, and you will own the property free and clear.
Well, let's stop there because we don't really teach tax lien. That's just one aspect of the game.
Just a strategy, yeah.
What we teach to our people, which is tax deeds. Now, tax deeds, we can get these if we win a bid from the tax deed auction, we can get those relatively quick. Certain counties take 2 to 3 months to send you your deeds. Certain takes maybe 4 to 5 months. On average, we've seen that it's going to take you anywhere between 2 to 3 months to get your deed. So you put a bid on a deed. Like when we came in the game, we were buying land for $50. Take us 2 to 3 months to get the deed. We started buying in bulk. We started buying 50 at a time, 60 at a time. Now the flow is going and you keep buying. So once you stop buying, your money stops flowing. You keep buying, the money keeps flowing. And then that was our whole play for like 2 years. And we bought a bundle of them. And that's where we made our first 6 figures at in the tax deed space.
Okay, so you're just buying land. Every time y'all say something, I'm envisioning this from, so you guys are just buying land. So you're just walking around here, rich as all get out in land.
Just land.
Because you're not making any more land. The land is the land.
The land is the land. For sure.
But if you own the land, okay, now let's say you own a piece of land and like the state wants to come in and like build something on top of your land. They have to reach out to you.
Absolutely.
It's called eminent domain.
Eminent domain, okay.
Yeah, it's eminent domain. State, they just take it if they want. It's a process.
It is
but if
process.
they want it, they're going to get it.
And they say,
for it.
for sure, they'll say they'll give you market value, but that's not true. They're going to give you what they think is worth. Of course.
It rarely happens, though. It doesn't happen a lot. And if it does happen, it's going to happen in a well-to-do area that's designed.
Gotcha. But then you guys focus on the rural side.
We focus on the rural side.
Absolutely.
Minding our
Focus
business.
on the rural side. What's the real reason for that?
Okay. The real reason is because...
And how rural are you talking about?
We're talking about... We're talking about...
Hour away from the sea.
We're talking about 30, 40, 50, 60 people per square mile. And the reason why we target that is because there's no competition as far as other people. When you're dealing in urban environments, everybody is hustling and bustling, fighting for the same properties. But when you're in rural markets, you typically have some of the same days on market as urban environments. A lot of people don't know that.
Okay, hold on. Like, we live in Atlanta now. Do you guys have any land in Georgia or Atlanta area?
No, we don't.
We've had,
but we sold it before.
So, but have you done enough study to say, okay, if somebody in Atlanta, whoever love follow us to in the Georgia area, where would be rural? Have you done any research for Atlanta to say, okay, this part will be rural where you can get good land? Like, what parts would you say?
Typically, what we would consider rural is going to be 2 to 3 hours away from the major city. Those are going to be called Zoom cities. Zoom cities became very popular during COVID because nobody wanted to come into cities and deal with the crowds of people. So Zoom cities became very popular because everybody started working at home. So they're still popular, 2 to 3 hours away from a major city, even from the standpoint, from a recreational standpoint. A lot of people buy land just for recreational use. They want to be close to a major attraction, 2 to 3 hours. They can camp on it. They can sleep on it. They want to come into the city, maybe take their kids to the aquarium or whatever that's in the city. Then they get out of here. Everybody's not in love with the hustle and bustle of the fast life. Most, I won't say most, but there's a high percentage of people that likes rural and
more and more people are moving.
Yeah, for sure. Outskirts. And we also study something called days on market, which is very, very important. Okay. Basically, what that days on market is going to show us how long properties are staying on the market and how long they're moving off. So once we break that down into zip code, that's how we focus on demand. Because if there are more properties that have actually been sold than what is for sale, that clearly shows demand inside of that market. Yeah. For sure.
Okay. Yeah. So what have you seen is the reason why people typically buy lands, maybe from you guys? Is it to buy and to sell, or are people buying land to hold? Mm-hmm. Or would you recommend anybody buy rural land to hold, or they just pretty much just buy to sell for a profit?
We find in our business, we've sold a little bit of everything from an infill lot. An infill lot is going to be in city areas, mm-hmm. all the way from, 260 acres. That's very rural. Mm-hmm. So there's many reasons that people buy land. There's many uses for it, right? Some recreational land is our biggest seller. This is where, as we stated, people are going to come in. They'll take a 5 acre, a 40 acre. 40 acre tracts are very attractive for hunting. They like to put a small cabin on it. These guys, they'll come and they'll hunt on the property. It's just weekend things for them. It's recreational land for them. Infill lots, people will buy infill lots from us. And some of them have the dreams of building. Some of them actually build. Some of them buy and hold. Multiple uses. It all depends on what the people need at that time.
And just to touch on this really quickly, outside of the city limits, right? Mm-hmm. There's no zoning. So you don't have to worry about a planning and zoning department telling you what you can put on the property. There's no zoning whatsoever, and that's why that land is so attractive.
Wow, this is some really good stuff. Yeah. Okay, so buy land and hold. So how did you guys get to, I know you touched a little bit earlier, how did you guys get to learn about this and to focus on helping people? Would you say you kind of helping people buy land to sell? That's kind of the business you're in, right? Mm-hmm. So how did you guys get into this lane, so to speak, Okay.
Well, interesting story. All right. Glad I'm here with the new Rich.
Real interesting. Right. Power couple here. Let's go.
Right. So in our process of just looking to elevate ourselves, as Jay stated, we like mentorship, right? Mm-hmm. So we started surfing the net, just seeing who was who. And Dr. we ran across you on, I believe, David Shands. No,
it was David Shands. It was David Shands. Yeah,
sure. That's what we saw you at
for sure.
And we had an option of maybe 2 or 3 people that, we wanted to speak to just to talk about some mentorship. We was just doing our own business. We didn't have a program. We wasn't showing anybody at the time. Yeah. So we reached out to you. We are a fan of paying to skip the line. Let's get clear, like at the airport. We don't want to stay on the line. Let's use our clear pass. And so we reached out to him. We had a conversation, scheduled a conversation. We told him what we do. And we just was saying to him, like, look, I think we want to do an ebook. And after he heard what we've done, he was like, no, you guys need to do a course. Right. We were new to the course world, and we were hesitant, like, course, I don't know. And his words exactly was, and I'm paraphrasing, was, you guys have, what is it?
Imposter syndrome. You don't know who you really are.
He said, the question is, can you show somebody how to buy a piece of land? If that answer is yes, it qualifies you to be a mentor.
Wow. And another good one that you had too. Yeah. It's another good one that you had. You said, do you know what qualifies you to be a teacher? I always remember this. And I was like, what? He said, to be one step ahead of the person that doesn't know.
Yeah.
That changed psychologically. Yeah. That changed the whole thing. You know what I mean? For sure.
Yes. We knew a lot. And we knew more than the average person would know about the land space, but we never had thought about teaching it.
For sure.
Yes.
Until we had the conversation with Uwe. And that's why I have a lot of respect even for this interview and being here today, because this was...
it's like a full circle moment. Yeah. It's like a full circle moment. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
When it first came, I knew they were superstars.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew you guys were superstars.
No, and no lie, because he said to us, he said, you guys are like Moses.
Yeah, yes, he said. That's what he said. He said,
that's your Nigerian accent.
Yeah, right. He said, you are selling land. You're selling the earth. That is wealth.
Yeah.
We couldn't see it at the time because you have to get clear. First of all, a lot of people talk about money, right?
Yeah.
But before that, and this is a process we had to go through, you have to clear that old junk that's inside of your hand. All of us are running on some kind of program. Some are worse than others, but a lot of times when you don't see people striving in your environment, it starts to look like TV. It starts to look like they can only do that over there. But once you come into the vicinity of people who are actually doing it on a high level, it seems more acceptable for you, more doable, more everything. And that's what we had to see. So just engaging, looking at podcasts, all of these different things, start, and they look like you. It's a difference. It's a difference.
Yo, so when we saw your, he called me and he sent me your podcast, and what resonated with him so much, he was like, "Yo, man, we ain't doing enough." Like, I know this is a good show, but he said they're whooping our ass. That's what he said. He said if he can come from Africa with $100 in a suitcase,
listen. And I got one more thing to say. When I heard your story about there's no credit there, it's cash and carry. You have the money or you don't. Sometimes you don't realize how privileged you really are until you hear stories like that. So that was definitely coming from a place where you can do that and come here with almost nothing. And I always tell him the same thing. It's like living in New York, right? Everybody comes from all around the world to go visit Times Square, right? Yeah. But the people who live there don't value it the same.
Exactly.
It's the same thing. Exactly. You're not even aware of the opportunities that you've been afforded because they've always been there.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you go to Bahamas and I'm going to the water and they look at you like you're crazy.
Right. You're going to get in there? Right.
You know, and for you guys, you know, I think your knowledge was just amazing, right? Because when it came to one of the things that also kind of got me so triggered with you guys was that land, housing, real estate, you know, is something that was more common with other cultures.
Sure.
So you don't really have a lot of black people buying lands, holding lands, and it was unique. So I felt like you guys were like also not just the land, Moses in terms of the, you know, the wealth, the land, but Moses in terms of Moses also was a deliverer.
Right.
He was going to deliver God's people because they were blinded by Egypt and everything that was going on there. But somebody had to go. Moses was with God for 40 days to experience God. So now he has to go bring the people to experience what he experienced. So I feel like you guys also were Moses in the sense of that you've experienced something amazing, like really black people can buy and own land. That was unique in our culture.
Yes, sir.
Everybody, I mean, I've heard a lot of, you know, black entrepreneurs talking about real estate in terms of the structure.
Sure.
But land was rare, right? So I feel like you guys were the ones that were chosen by God to lead God's people, especially the black entrepreneurial space towards this promised land of, you know what? You can own the land for as low as $50 and have that to your name. And imagine the confidence and level of self-worth that can do to a person. So I feel like you get, there was some days I was mad. I was talking to my wife like,
right.
This is beyond,
he did not know.
Beyond 6 figures and you guys go make 7 figures and all of that stuff.
We already been there though.
Right? But just to see that you guys are not just only helping people, it's beyond land. It's helping people own dreams, right? Yeah. That was amazing. I remember, I don't know if you guys forgot, I gave you guys at least 5 streams of income, right? One was course, the second one was coaching program, and also to merch, right? You know, we're kind of going through some names that people are going to wear your t-shirt. Then I told the guys today I gotta do events and masterminds, and because this could be a movement.
This is crazy. I'm remembering all this as you're saying that, right?
Because I know y'all got landslide.
You guys gotta start now. I don't know if you guys are doing this yet, but you guys start holding your own conferences too. You're coming to you're coming to invest first, right? It wasn't only for you to have a booth, but for you to experience what was possible. That you guys could be the ones holding a festival where people are coming, thousands of people are coming, and not only are they learning about lands, but learning about business, entrepreneurship, and mindset. You know, so I just want to kind of state again publicly to the both of you that you guys are just getting started.
Absolutely.
With what's already inside of you guys and what God has in store, right?
Sure.
This is just the beginning. It's beyond even digital products. It's beyond just courses. It's mastermind, but it's a movement. And I don't know if you guys have that t-shirt line yet. I know we spoke about it. You gotta have people are going to want to wear your t-shirt. You want to identify because, I think we would land. There was so many stuff.
We had a lot of stuff.
So
a lot of stuff.
So you got
like
what's
a 10-year vision.
Yeah, for real.
no, this is prophecy.
Yeah,
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And let me say one more thing too. I just want to tell you guys too, there's something on you both's life. There's favor. And I feel like I don't want you guys to get too excited or get drunk with the relative success you have in now. Because what you're having now is just a taste of what's possible. It's 8 figures now.
Preach.
Right.
Preach.
It's 8 figures. It's bigger than you see. So you guys came to Atlanta. You came to experience. You're also hearing some new words now from this podcast now. It's not time to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, how can it be bigger?
For sure.
How can this thing be
At scale. That's right.
It's a movement now.
Ray is containing himself over here.
I'll tell you something funny, right? They said, one of my good friends, 19 Keys, told us, land is God's gold.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Powerful.
So let me say this.
Powerful.
It is prophecy because he prophesied it from the beginning, right? And now what he's just saying now, we just had this conversation before we got here. Before we came to Invest Fest, we came down here, our top agenda was to see what was our reach in real life off of social media, right? We're doing excellent on social media. We've organically ran up about 90,000 followers in 8 months. Clap, bravo. But is this transferring to real life and to how we touching real people? So when we came down here, we wanted to see what our reach was in front, and the love was overwhelming. We had we couldn't even get down the hallway when people stopped. Acre Boys, I bought your program. I bought my first piece of land
because of you.
Because of
all kind of stuff.
People that's not even inside our program saying, I bought my first piece just off the free game that you're giving. And everything that he just named is everything that some of the things that we've accomplished so far. Even these shirts. Some of the people want to take the shirts off our back. I'll buy it off of your back. About live events. We just did a whole tour with 19 Keys. We did 12 stops. All major cities, 12 stops. So you prophesize that. Live events. We're planning our first mini tour, Acre Boys tour now, which will start to kick off in February. So all the stuff that he just started
is real.
It's confirmation that we went out to dinner last night. We were 2 blocks over. We decided to walk and not take an Uber. It took us 50 minutes to walk 2 blocks because we couldn't get up the block.
We get stopped everywhere. It was surreal. Surreal because you don't know who your impact was. One time on a tour, we were standing outside and these guys came by, they bombarded us, started asking a lot of questions. He said, you know what? This was crazy, right? I'm teaching my 4th grade class the things that I get from y'all for free on Instagram and you don't even know it. He said, you know what's crazy? Sometimes you can think what you're doing is common knowledge, right? But you'll find out when you go further, that is uncommon knowledge. When you're inside of your bubble, when you step outside of your bubble, there's so many people that are willing to receive what you have, and they're just waiting for information. And it takes for somebody that's taken the bumps and the bruises already to go ahead and show and the value, and it's coming back to being reciprocated. So full circle moment.
And the thing that's so awesome to me is, especially when you're just doing and fulfilling the mission or the purpose that God has given to you, you feel like, okay, it's easy to just look at views or look at, okay, this is what I made this month, but it's so much bigger than that. And I feel like you guys were able to experience that. And that happens a lot when we're just doing what we do, but somebody else is like, you doing what you do has freed me to make this move, break up with this one, get with this one. And it's like, but I didn't talk about that. I wasn't saying, but it wasn't what you were saying. It was what was being said without you saying.
Absolutely.
And that's like the importance of being on a mission, staying focused, fulfilling what God has given to you, because in you fulfilling, that causes a domino effect. Okay, that person does what they need to do, which causes that person, which causes that person. And it's this beautiful effect of reciprocation and it's just going on. Those are seeds.
Those are seeds.
Like
Those
you can open up an apple. You don't how many seeds are in an apple? I don't even know. But sow all those seeds. How many more apples with how many more seeds? And it just keeps going and going and going and going. How many people that feeds?
Right.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I read one time in this book, I forgot what it was, right? They were talking about how you affect people and most people don't know.
Yeah.
They said, you can affect somebody. You say you are so confused sometimes that just by a thought, a mannerism, 95% of communication is nonverbal anyway. You can talk without talking all the time. It could be, and it might not be about land that they resonate. They may resonate with just you as a person, how you talk, how you walk, whatever the case. Everybody comes from different angles or from different perspectives, and people resonate with a story, especially when it's real and they see people actually, you're giving them actionable steps, not smoke and mirrors, not something. I see people doing a whole lot of stuff that in real life is going to take you a lot to really do that. Yeah. But when somebody comes in and shows actionable steps, something that you can do today and you can start getting results today, it's different. It's different. It's not the same.
Can I shout, because I know our time is running. Can I shout out our group? Because this is what we do it for. Our Land and Legacy family. Let me just shine some light on them. These are, we don't call them students, we call them investors because we invest with them or we show them how to invest. So I just want to drop a couple of names. One young lady by the name of Courtney Wynn. She's one of the first people that came inside of our program. She completed her first deal about now going on 2 months, about 2 months, 3 months ago. Her first deal was she bought a 2-acre for $19,000, turned around in 2 weeks and sold it for $40,000, $0 out of her pocket. We provide funding in our program. Another young lady inside our program. These are all first timers that
no real estate experience.
Another lady, Stephanie. Shout out to Stephanie. Stephanie hit a home run coming out the gate. Her first deal is a buy for $55,000. List price is $190 on that deal. Her second deal was a buy for $60,000. List price on that is $130. And that's my top tier program. On my lower tier program, Shauna, shout out to Shauna. Shauna closed out on 15 lots. From Michigan's auction last week. She bought 15 lots, $300 a piece. She's going to turn around and sell them for $2,500 a piece. Wow. So shout out to my Land and Legacy family.
Love y'all.
Wow.
To Land and Legacy.
Land and Legacy.
What a name.
Yep.
That is so
ladies.
amazing.
I like that.
So I know that you
tell
guys...
the men that they can, I'm sorry. Y'all tell the men that they can buy a piece of land and gift it today. What y'all
absolutely,
ladies? I'm looking out for
that's for sure. That's for sure. And you can't do that.
Okay, all right. I'm just making sure.
I don't know what it is. I find even in my group, the women are running our group.
Absolutely,
so fellas. I need y'all.
70%, 75%. They run it. Absolutely,
it's something. Black women we need more black men to step up when it comes to entrepreneurship. Okay, we're going to be running off shortly, right? But I know you have a course, and the link is going to be in the show notes where people can buy. But can you give like a free good game if somebody can run with that can get them results? And of course, if you want more details, you want more of the structure, everything, you're going to need to get their course so you can get everything in there. But can you just give like some free good game for back?
Yeah, watch how we do this.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Let me sit.
Let's work.
Like we do this so much that I'm not going to even tell them what I'm going to do. So free good game. Every deal that the Acre Boys look at, whether that's a small lot or whether that's a 200-acre lot, we run through our fact check. That's FAACTS, FAACTS. The F stands for what, Jay?
Floodplain.
A stands for
access.
The other A stands for
adjacent.
The other C stands for
comps.
The other T stands for
topography.
And the S stands for
slope.
Know the facts. You can go out and buy a piece of land.
Let's go.
All right. It's that simple. All right. But of course,
let's go.
Of course, you're going to need more than that. So you can tap into their course. So where can they get your course?
You can get our course at www.landandlegacy.info. Come on in. We would love to take your hand from step A all the way to step Z. We have weekly training. You're not alone. You come in here into a group that's already doing it. My group is very helpful.
Extremely.
Me and Jay, we oversee every deal that goes out the door. We don't want our people buying anything and putting it out on the market. And it's not valuable because if they look good, we look good.
Absolutely.
So come on our side, our group. You can buy land less than a pair of Michael Jordan shoes.
And just one thing I want to let the audience know before we get out of here. We deal with lower denomination properties that we teach and higher denomination properties. Our biggest property that we've ever done, we purchased the property for $3.4 million and we're selling at an undisclosed amount right now. So it's all possible. You know, it's just repetition. Repetition is the mother of all learning. So that's what it is.
One more question. So like, how much would you say you've made from this land so far? And coaching and everything.
Over 7 figures for sure.
Wow. Amazing.
For sure.
All right. So guys, this has been an amazing time, right? I hope you've learned something. You've been inspired from Ray and Jay and the great work they're doing. So you need to own land and you need to own legacy too. So you need to tap in. I think it's landandlegacy.info.
Yes, sir.
Get this program. All right. Any last words from you both? Who's going first?
Of course. Come buy some land. We all know the tagline. Let me just drop these stats. I got about a minute to do it. In our community, we are underserved. We own less than 2% of all vacant land. We own less than 1% of all rural land. And let's not talk about farmland. That percentage is embarrassing. Mm-hmm. So people that look like us, come on and get the knowledge, get the education so we can close that wealth gap through land.
For sure. And I would like to leave everybody with something different. Peace feels like boredom to somebody who grew up in chaos. I'm gonna say that one more time. Peace feels like boredom to somebody who grew up in chaos. A lot of time we may be surrounded with a lot of drama, right? And these people inside of your peaceful space that you've grown to actually love and achieve, they go ahead and want you to stay the same. Go to your peace. For sure.
Awesome. Last words.
Y'all get some legacy going and get some land. I'm about to be landed up. You see, I got my green on.
You see that, right? Land the plane.
Right. We got 30 more seconds. So everybody, I hope you were blessed to tap in with Ray and Jay again, landandlegacy.info, and also to, go do something epic with your life. See you in the next episode of The New Rich. And this show was brought to you free from Vonza.com, as a sponsor of the show, all-in-one platform for your courses, your community, and for you to run your business online. God bless you. See you next time in The New Rich.
Be well.
Ciao.